Good morning. It's a very wet and miserable morning here in Ayrshire, so I'm going to do a nearby walk today. I'm going to get the train to Kilwinning and I'm going to walk all the way back to Dalry. Right, that's me in Kilwinning now. First 5 minutes of the walk from the train station was along a very busy road and it was so noisy and full of traffic. I was trying to dodge cars going through puddles, so I'm finally just able to get the camera out. And it's on time. It started bucketing down the rain as well, so that's nice. Right, so today's plan is to go the route across the viaduct in Kilwinning. I did that a couple of months ago, but couldn't actually see the viaduct because I was on top of it. So I'm hoping that by walking up this street in the house in the estate, I'll get a better view of the viaduct before I actually go across it. Then once I cross it, I'll join the Blair Road and head back to Dalry. Right, we finally get a view of the viaduct. I went around a loop of these houses there because the path onto the viaduct wasn't giving me a view of the viaduct. So I went a slight detour so I can video it. Now I can see it better from here. It's quite an impressive structure. See if I can get any closer without sinking knee deep into mud. Actually, I didn't need to go in the loop because there's a path there. I could just have walked up to the path, then up to this little spot here and get a view of it. Oh, it's cracking. Very tall. Don't know how tall it is. A couple 100 feet maybe. That's one for Google. Anyway, I was on top of that last time. I'm going to go on top of it again just now. So that's the way I went the last time, coming off the cycle network and heading back to Kilwinning station. This time, I'm not going back to Kilwinning, I'm going to go across this viaduct to Blair Road and walk down there. And I might cut through the Blair Estate. I haven't decided. I'll see how wet I am by the time I get there. I might want to go off the road and avoid traffic. Oh, look at that. Even though it's absolutely bucketing down the rain, you still get an absolutely stunning view up here. And I can see all the way back to Dalry. I could have followed the main road to Dalry, but then I would hardly have filmed any of it because of the traffic, so what is the point really? And I could have done the route where I went to the very beginning of the Blair Road over that direction in Kilwinning, but I did that before, so today is a all new walk using the viaduct to get all the way back to Dalry. Yeah, I hope my microphone's muffling out the wind because it's getting pretty windy up here because I'm exposed. You can see Kilwinning back in that direction. Tell you what, the bad weather doesn't bother the sheep. I still like to follow that path down there. It's too muddy today, but I think in the summer I'm going to see if I can walk right along that path, or at least see how far I can get. It's not a great path, it is just a mud track, so well, it's mud at this time of the year, hopefully it'll be dried up in the summer. Hello sheeps. I think I'm going to spend a long time constantly cleaning the lens of this camera today to get rain off it. I should have brought a brolly with me. So the main reason I decided to come here today is just the weather report really. There's a yellow weather warning in from the Met Office to say there's going to be heavy rain. And it's heavy enough just now, but it's not absolutely bucketing down. And so, two considerations. Do I want to get absolutely soaked? Nope. And if I go to somewhere further afield, will I get home easily? Probably no again, because if I travel down to the Ayrshire coast or somewhere down that direction, I can guarantee the trains will all be cancelled with the rain. So just thought, nah, I'll go to the next stop down from my town and walk back. And in a brighter day, I'll go further afield. Get him down there. Those poor wee sheep hiding under the trees. Taking this route, which is slightly longer than walking the main road back to Dalry, because it sort of zigzags across the countryside to the back roads. And I reckon it must be about maybe 5.5 or 6 miles. If I just went direct down the main road, it'd probably only be about 4 miles. But I don't like walking on the main road, it's just too noisy and not particularly scenic, and there's too many people about, mainly in cars, but they're there. I can put a camera on here and not feel awkward about anybody looking at me, because there's nobody here apart from sheep. So I might see a few cars when I get to the Blair Road, but hopefully not too many. Cheerio sheeps. That's me coming to the end of the path and going on to the road. Still all part of the National Cycle Network number 7, but part of it is road. So if you're going to cycle, you're going to have to go into the road. No mention of Dalry, but Dalry must be about 4 miles from here. Now if I really wanted to stretch out this walk, I could take a turn up to the left up here and go back towards the main road between the towns and visit Dalgarvan Mill and maybe get a latte. But quite honestly, I cannot be bothered, because I was there a couple of weeks ago when I had a cuppa with my pal, so I can't be bothered doing it again today. And I've done it before anyway and videoed it, so if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've already seen it. But it's an option if you want to stretch your legs even further. Who'd want to be a farmer? Look at the state of the field. We've got good welly boots to walk through that. So let me watch what I'm doing here. My hat's slipping in front of my eyes and my specs are covered in rain. Walking half blind. This last little section of road I've never walked before. I've only walked as far as the path I just exited from, the viaduct. And from the other direction I've walked as far as the road that takes you down to Dalgarvan Mill, so I'm not sure how long this bit is. But it's definitely new to me. I've never walked it, so don't know what to expect. But what I can see is that a sheep that's escaped its field, or a ram even? There's no other sheep there. And he's staring at me. I think he's looking a bit lonesome down there. I think he might have escaped his field. Oh no, there's a few of them. That's a ram, alright. Maybe they're just kept separate from the other sheep. Don't know if I trust them next to the water bowl. Bah. Bah. Say something. Bah. His nose is twitching and eyeballing me, but he's got absolutely nothing to say. Say hello to the viewers. Bah. There you go, Baldy. They're all staring at me. Hope you enjoyed my sheep impression. It's a lush green land. Oh, it's a really biting cold wind. The weather report says with the wind blowing it was a wind chill of 0 degrees, so it is very, very chilly. Icy cold rain. Thankfully the rain isn't too heavy because I'm not soaked yet, so that's quite pleasing. Although the forecast is for it to get heavier as the day goes on, so I'm out here at 9 in the morning when I started the walk, just after 9. And I'll hopefully be back for about 10:30 and avoid any torrential downpours. And even if I don't avoid them, at least I'm walking homewards and I'm not going to be sitting at a station freezing cold and soaked. Right, just to utterly bore you, I'm going to talk about weather. So I don't mind the winter. I don't mind being out in the freezing cold walking. I don't mind being out in ice and snow walking. But I do absolutely despise rain and wind. You know, it's just not pleasant to walk in. You know, so trying to motivate myself to come out today was a bit of a task. So, you know, apparently on Thursday and Friday it's to be sunny, and here I am out today when it's bucketing down. But I would probably have postponed making a video. But if I go out on Thursday or Friday, I might not edit the video in time to put it up on Saturday morning. So I thought I'm going to force myself to go out in the miserable weather. And if I'm feeling fit, I might record another video at the end of the week when it's sunny. And then I can schedule that for next week. I really need to schedule some videos a few weeks in advance so I can be better prepared to choose what days I go out instead of being forced to go out in a really horrible wet cold day. But I'm not very well organised. Just dodge that car because the road's covered in puddles. Don't fancy getting soaked with dirty oily water. I've been this far. Not sure if I've been this far before. Don't think I have. I've done a few loops up in that direction, but I think the loops I've done start at a road further along. Aye, they definitely do. Because I've not got as far as the Garvin Mill yet. Which is, it's actually a bit further along here than I realised. Thought it was closer. Cracking view though, I'm right on the top of a hill here. There's the new houses next to the viaduct way back there. So just a lot of little farms dotted about here. Yeah. So I'm going to head down this hill, which is better than walking uphill, that's for sure. Cracking view though. It's a shame with these action cams because they don't give any zoom, you just point and shoot, and they don't do a nice big countryside view like this justice. It's actually absolutely stunning, even though it's just fields. But because you're up on the hill and you can see all the winding road and the hedgerows everywhere, it just looks amazing. And for me that's the money shot. What a cracking view. Maybe I'll use it as a thumbnail. Oh, that wind is so cold. Yeah, well, I've certainly never walked up this hill before, so I know I haven't walked this part of road. Oh, it's good to come downhill though. You know, it's amazing the amount of walks you can find where you don't need a car. Nice walks, you know, especially in Ayrshire. Just jump off at one of the stations and start walking, and you find yourself with absolutely glorious views and a bit of countryside, bit of scenery, bit of fresh air. Honestly, when I stayed in Paisley, I used to do walks up to the Glenford Braes, but quite honestly, you get bored with it when you've done it so many times. Whereas out in Ayrshire, you've got so much choice of walks you can go on. Like I said, you don't even need a car, which suits me just fine. Coming up in a nice wee house in the middle of the countryside. They must love people as much as I do. That's quite a new build as well, it's lovely. Kilwinning it's called. It's very nice. I better not put my camera out the windows directly. You might phone the police on me. Lumping level. Probably not a level at all, no idea what kind of tree it is. Just any time I see these craggy old trees, it reminds me of Harry Potter. It's another lovely view. Green grass, brown ferns all winding away into the distance. And that big tree there. Probably looking at that saying it's not that impressive, but maybe I'm just easily pleased. I know where I am now. Not that I was ever lost, but this road to the left that is unsuitable for long vehicles is a road to Dalry Mill. So I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to keep in the Blair Road and go through this little railway bridge. Keep heading towards Dalry. And hopefully no traffic will come through that bridge because it looks narrow, muddy and full of puddles. And I don't want soap. And typically I can hear a car coming. You could have waited. So I'm just going to loiter here until it passes. Two cars through here quickly before another one comes. Some plantations going on there. More trees being grown. There's been so much deforestation in Scotland, especially about here. This is all just farmland. But I'd love to see a lot more trees planted up in the Highlands. Instead of big barren open places, lots more forests. Rewild the place. Seeing we talk about putting wolves back onto the landscape. Don't know if I fancy that right enough. Might get eaten. I like these old trees with their bark covered in leaves everywhere. I don't know if that's part of the tree or if it's a bush, a plant that's grown over the tree. I'm afraid I don't know enough about that sort of thing to be able to tell you. It's quite pretty anyway. Run away! Those sheep just looked up, saw me, stared for a second, then started to run. They're staring again. We're far enough away, we'll just have a wee gander at the baldy human. Rams. Rams again. Never seen so many rams. Hello chaps. Out here walking in this cold weather, and what bothers me the most is my teeth. My bottom teeth, because I was at the dentist yesterday and I didn't get any work done. All I got was a check-up and a polish. But see, even just get a polish in the teeth, my teeth are very sensitive and they're aching ever since I've gone over it with the polisher. I really hate the dentist. Not the person, just the dentist. At least I'll not have to go back for another year, hopefully. Funnily enough, I was saying to my dentist, you know, unusual small talk, so what you been up to? He says, walking. So walking, he says, aye, just walking. Go and do maybe about 6, 7, 8 miles once a week. He said, you should go to the Cobbler, which is a Munro in Scotland, a mountain over 3,000 feet. And I've done the Cobbler, not fully, because I went once about 20 years ago. And just getting up to the last section where you approach this rock formation called the Eye of the Needle, where you crawl through a hole in the rock, the fog moved in, and I literally couldn't see 5 feet in front of myself. So the guys I was with, we decided to turn back, because one of them was experienced, unlike me. He was a Munro bagger. But it was a really pleasant walk, but it's one of these walks I don't think I could access without a car. Whilst I do enjoy all the walks that I do manage to access without a car, there is so many further afield that I would love to be able to get to. Although having said that, I couldn't get myself up a mountain these days. I'd really be struggling, so it's probably a moot point anyway. Huge big puddle at the bottom of this ditch. I have to navigate it. I'll be okay. I'm slightly under 7.5 tons. Please no cars come, because we've got to get through this puddle. Right down the middle of the road. Freezing cold river. You want to fall in there? Just up ahead is the entrance to the Blair Estate. The rear entrance. I'm debating whether to go through it or not. It is nice, but I've walked through it so many times. I'm thinking maybe I should just stick on the road and just keep going. Right, well, that's all fair with the dog who's just come out of Blair Estate. He's walking very slowly up the Blair Road. I don't want to get involved in a long chit chat, so I'm going this way. Antisocial, get that arm. all these blooming flowers. Spring must be on the horizon. Starting to see them. There's quite a lot of them. It's only the start of February. It's been a good winter though. Funnily enough, I was talking to my niece the other day who lives in Fife, and she said it's been so much rain and snow. I was thinking that's unusual because normally where I live in the west of Scotland gets the most rain. I think it's actually been a really good winter. There's not been too much rain. That's how I've been able to get out and do plenty of walks. So I don't know what's going on there. Global warming maybe. Speaking of global warming, I was watching something on the telly the other day there. It was talking about these ocean currents that bring warm air from the Caribbean up to the western side of Europe. And I think that maybe global warming is going to stop these currents from flowing, and if they do, Scotland and the rest of Europe are going to end up with a climate like Russia. Heavy snow in the winter, ice. Can you imagine if you spent 4 months of the year in freezing cold conditions, heavy snow, having to put your heating on all day? Honestly, you'd need to sell a kidney to get through one winter in this country with the price of the electricity and gas here. Love that old building over there. Unfortunately, this is as close as I can get. It looks a lot like the building that's in Eglinton Park. Same style. The ramparts on top. It's only on 2 levels. I reckon in the past it must have been maybe a stables or something. We've got the Blair Castle further up. So that's not the main dwelling on this estate. Quite a fancy stables if that's what it was. Funnily enough, it's got a name. Carriage House Stables Flat. So it probably was a stables. It's nice though, isn't it? A wee gander at the front of it here. Yeah, it's as close as I can get. Well, I can hear workmen hammering away somewhere, so maybe it's getting work done on it. Ah, there's these big redwoods here. Love these trees. Huge. About, I don't know, 150 feet high, I would say. Rough guess. Absolutely fantastic tree. That one grown at rock face. Ah, there are workmen on the castle. I was right. Getting some roofing work done. Can I pretend to be a workman and walk down and get a video of the castle? Probably not. Used to be able to walk down this road until a Tory bought the place years ago and closed it off and forced you to use this path. And the current owner has never reopened it, so I left my camera right up. I don't know if I've got it above the hedge to see the castle, maybe. Such a nice view. Even in winter you get a good view here. Probably helped that it's probably helped with there being less leaves on the trees, so you can see a lot of the landscape. It's really nice. Anyway, head down towards the train station now. Almost back there. Probably in about 20 minutes we'll be at Dalry Station. I'll say it again, I just love the brown leaves. See the contrast you get with the brown and the green and the tarmac? I think it actually looks nicer here at this time of year than it does in the summer where it's just all green. Just love those colours. And everywhere I see these flowers sprouting. It must have been a warm winter. It does seem a bit early to see sprouting flowers. Everywhere, more of them. All along this hedge, either side. I think they might have a mole problem here. I'm assuming that's molehills. Loads of them. I'd love to have a wee house just there. The river running round. A nice wee covered porch just sitting at the burn here. Sit out in the winter with a cup of coffee. Sounds good to me. Love this wee bridge. It's really nice. I'm approaching the main road that leads down to Dalry Train Station. It's just full of houses and traffic and not particularly interesting, so I'm not going to film it. So I think that's a good place to call it a day. Just say I hope you've enjoyed the jolly jaunt from Kilwinning across the viaduct and back to Dalry. It's been a good little workout for me as usual, so I'll just say thanks for watching and cheerio now.